Alright lads, so today we are once more back into Brave Battles, once more by the way showcasing YHWACH. We recently showcased him to kind of counter the current persistence meta, right? And the way we did that was, of course, by building in full defense. And in a way, we're kind of doing the same thing, but we're doing it a bit different. So what exactly has changed? Well, a recent character just got resurrected last month, and I finally were able to get them 5 out of 5, special move level 5. And that character in particular is Aaroniero, the Machine Society version. And one of the reasons why I was excited for his particular soul trait, while it is a tad bit of a niche, is the fact that its damage reduction man is 16%, but also lacerate duration. Now, these soul traits are very rarely ever usable, but in his case, it might actually just work because obviously the whole thing with YAMAMOTO is that he's guaranteed to inflict lacerate against YHWACH. So what we're going to do in this video is, one, put this link onto Aaroniero, but where exactly would I want to do it? Probably this, for example. I don't really need the weakened duration. We have gone ahead and got Aaroniero 5-5. Unfortunately, not a good 6 roll, but I do have at level 10 attack, stamina, and defense. So we are at least getting a decent amount of stats here. And with this lacerate duration, and of course also through a bonus ability, we're now fully immune to lacerate. So if we were to put him against YAMAMOTO, he's not inflicting the lacerate, but we can still potentially get to use our strong attacks, more specifically our SA2, to give ourselves the team boost. But then again, maybe it's not even going to matter all too much because characters like Yama himself can still apply a debuff, likewise with Aaroniero. And if we do use our boost before they use their debuff, then all our stats are just gone. But either way, I want to just test out, try out YHWACH once more, this time putting him against the character that was designed to actually counter him and put him back into the dirt for another 1,000 years. The team that we are using here is YAMAMOTO, full attack, 20% DR across the board, 4-5, level 10 attack, stamina, defense, focus, with also damage lacerated and also attack as bonus abilities. Obviously, YHWACH has the full defense build with these 3 soul traits. Again, max defense build here with lacerate and also attack. And then we also have Aaroniero, full defense builds, 20% DR across the board, max transcended, full defense, with low stamina and also pierce barrier. So let's check out this Yama here. It's a 3-5 Yama. So we're going to be putting our YHWACH against their Yama, put our Yama against their YHWACH, and then use our Aaroniero against their Aaroniero and see how it does go. Remember the thing with YHWACH against Yama, like even though Yama has been better, it's still close, right? Because they both have attribute and killer against each other. So we'll see how it does go. So they're both using their strong attacks. We are getting inflicted with burn, but not lacerate. And we can see here that very quick work, right? I mean, of course, the burn damage did do a bit here, but Yama, granted he was 3-5, we had the stat advantage to begin with, but no worries. Unfortunately, we still got debuffed, so our stats are both lower than what it should be, but still nice and easy. I want to see if we can potentially find a max transcended Yama and see how that does play out. There we go. This is the max transcended Yama, so we'll see it does go. Pretty good build, all things considered, with some good DR links here. Maybe this isn't the best soul trait for him, but so this is what we're going to do. We're going to put again our YHWACH against the Yama. Even if we lose here, we're mostly just focused on Yama versus YHWACH battles here. But let's see how this goes. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out, right? We have a full defense build. They have a full attack builds. Look at that. Look at that, man. It feels powerful. Do we have the team? We have the boost too. That's the most important part, right? That's the most important part with this strategy, that we can actually get the team boost off. Now, to be fair, most of the time you wouldn't even want to put your YHWACH against YAMAMOTO, but now I'm pretty much guaranteed to win against any YAMAMOTO with this particular setup, right? They themselves have a YHWACH, and I'm pretty sure they haven't gotten the lacerate duration. They don't. So we're going to stop them from even getting a chance to activate their boost, right? We're most likely going to kill the Yama before he even gets a chance to do that anyway, even with the lacerate wearing off. And then our YHWACH is going to make quick work of their Yama. Look at that. Got burnt a tad bit, but that's fine. And to be fair, maybe we are going a bit overkill. Maybe we don't need 100%. Maybe 55 is enough, because YAMAMOTO himself doesn't actually have Debilitator, so the lacerate wears off very quick anyway. 55% probably is good enough, but right now it's kind of doing the job. I like this team setup here because what I can do is put my Yama against their YHWACH here. Again, we're pretty much guaranteed to win that. From my experience, especially given that most people only have Minia at most 2-5, my max transcended Aaroniero is going to win that fight. And then now we also have YHWACH against Yama. 35k battle power, so not the craziest stats here. We do have quite the big stat advantage, but let's see how many hits it takes, even with a full defense build. We activated our boost, so we have the stat advantage here. Look at that. Quick. And now it's a 3v1. Minia is a great character in Brave Battles, but not enough for the Quincy King himself. Let's go. I'll be honest, lads. I've been surprisingly enjoying Brave Battles despite me not having many. A banner is dropping tomorrow. I will not be pulling. Not until we see what mid-month is, which I do know what it is, by the way. We'll talk about it tomorrow if it isn't already leaked. Just to tease it a tad bit, it's a pretty exciting banner. Maybe. It depends on what characters you like, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. So again, we're going to put these characters against those. my Yuha, I believe, against a 4-5 Yama, if I saw that correctly. But I'm looking forward to mid-month. Definitely will be doing a few summons on the banner. But let's pay attention to our Yuha against their Yama. They're doing some pretty good numbers here. We are kind of close here. We get them under 50%. Very, very close. I'm not sure what's going on. We're about to lose. Unfortunately, we have lost here. Not really sure what went wrong there, I'll be honest. But we have lost the fight. We have lost the fight. You are fair play. They also got the debuff of 2. The boost difference there. Did they activate the boost and did we not debuff them? I'm not really too sure. Let's actually do a quick rewind, right? Let's see how this does go. So let's pay attention to the boost and debuffs. So no one's used anything just yet. Looks like no one's using it. They activated their boost, and we might have debuffed them at the exact same time. If I can actually have a look at it, I think they might have the boost active. They do have the boost active. I think that was the biggest difference there, is that we didn't get to debuff them. And also, they activated their boost right after us. And also, they were able to activate their boost after we debuffed them. Did my Yama or UI even activate the boost? I don't think so. None of us were using the attack strategy, so it's not guaranteed my Yuha does use his boost, but from the looks of it, they don't bother using the boost. I think we just got unlucky there. Because they had the boost, we got debuffed, they just naturally had the stat advantage. I'm fine with it though. Maybe it is better for us to actually use the attack strategy. The attack strategy, while it doesn't give us any advantage here, we do actually get to prioritize using strong attacks. I guess we could try that, but then we don't get the soul bomb. And in this meta with Minia, you do not want Minia getting the soul bombs. So I think I might just stick to special strategy. We have a 4-5 Yuha there. A 1-5 Yama, so we know we're going to win that. Even if we didn't have the lacerate duration, I think we would still win. But let's just go against them. So let's see how this does play out. Yuha and Yama right in the middle. Unfortunately, we still get burnt, but at least we get to use our strong attacks. In that case, I believe they activated the debuff right after we used the boost. So I don't think we have a stat advantage here. We don't. But in this case, we also used our debuffs. It's very hard to keep track of because a lot's going on in a very short game. We actually got to use our soul bomb though. But from the looks of it, we were both debuffed. So like our stats were both lowered, right? So it was also technically fair. Jumping into our next game, here we go. Let's see how this does play out. And one thing that I guess a bit toxic about this build, if you do decide to do it, because again, even with this idea that you make it so Yuha can't get lacerated, it's still maybe not every time you go into a battle you want to put Yuha against Yama. So if anything, it's better for a defensive build that we can't really showcase right now, because at least if someone goes against my team and they are using Yamamoto, I mean, I know me personally, if I see a Yuha, I'm putting Yama against him. This might be more toxic for those that are deciding to fight against me when they put their Yama against my Yuha thinking they're going to win and lacerate, but they end up not lacerating because they can't. And now, if I activate the boost at the right time, we gain the stat advantage and boom, they lose. Well, that doesn't necessarily affect me. It does ruin people's win streaks and therefore they're getting less points. So in a way, it's kind of like Arena 2, right? Arena defensive characters you can't properly demonstrate because you can't really see what's going on the other team. Likewise here, the full effect of this lacerate duration build is that anyone that puts their Yama against my Yuha, they might be shockingly surprised when they actually lose the fight, when more often than not they actually win. So we're putting our Yuha against their Yama. Again, pretty good stuff here. Getting a bit low here. We're actually doing 1 damage. So again, another example, we lost here because of the boost. I think we would have won that fight. Yuha himself was doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately, and this is the sad truth, right? In this current meta, we got debuffed, they got buffed, and you saw that right at the last couple of seconds. Yuha was doing good damage, but then he stopped. He started doing 1 damage, and that's quite frankly because they got kind of lucky with the boost and debuff. It happens though. That's kind of the meta we're in right now, so I don't really mind it. I still win more often than not. Occasionally, we might get the rare L, but here we go. We debuffed them. We take out their UI. They couldn't even get a chance to use their boost. And even though we did use our boost there, they also did debuff us. So again, even with this strategy, you can still get debuffed. And the lacerate direction maybe doesn't help too much, but at least Yuha's winning his fight against Yama. That's the main idea with this particular team. This team right here has pretty good stats. They do have a max transcended YAMAMOTO, so let's see how this does play out. It's a full attack build versus a full defense build. They've now debuffed us, but we buffed ourselves, so I'm pretty sure we have the stat advantage here. Do we not? We might have. They still won the fight, though. It's not looking good for us right now. We're losing the battle. Are we, though? I think the Orihime went down. Orihime's carrying here. Can we actually kill Yama? Yes, we can. Come on, there we go. All right. That was a tough one, though. That was a max transcended Yama full attack, too, because they took out my UR quick, even with the lacerate. But Yuha was still able to do his job there. He did activate the boost. So even though UR lost the fight, he was still carrying us from the death. Because at the end, I'm pretty sure Yamamoto, a max transcended Yama, was still only doing 1 damage to Orihime. We're still only doing 1 damage to Orihime. Granted, even if he was doing damage, we still would have won, I think, because, you know, the persistence, right? But I think that would have been a lot closer there had Yuha not activated his boost. Another Yama victim. Here we go. We also have a rare Sergeant, which, to be fair, Sergeant is kind of annoying to go against, but this is a max translated Sergeant, but it should be relatively easy. He does get a bit tanky near the end. My UR's kind of struggling against the Yama, but he just activated the boost very late into the game, but you know what? That's fine, because now we have the extra stats, right? Granted, it's a 2v1, we were going to win anyway, but that's why this is a bit better when you have like a full defense UR that can kind of last a bit long. Because had that Aaroniero fight been a bit close, I mean, getting that stat advantage, like, last couple seconds really does help out, especially when you're up against Persistence. Next up, we're going to go against Hawk. They have a max translated Mania, so this might not end well for us, but let's just focus on the Yama fight. We should win against Yama. Hopefully here we can get the stat advantage. Haven't noticed anyone debuff just yet. They debuffed us now, I believe. We'll see how it does go. We activated the Persistence. We do have the advantage here. Unfortunately, we've now been debuffed and confused, but they have activated Mania and also Aaronioro's Persistence. Mine hasn't activated just yet. It has now, but we should hopefully get the confusion to wear off soon. There we go. Did actually end up winning that fight despite them having a max transcendent Mania. Even though we put our Yama against their UR, still luckily was able to manage to win. Next up, we have August, who is using a max transcendent UR, and I believe also YAMAMOTO. We'll see how this does play out. Their Ishin's not really a problem. Right now, a lot of damage going both ways. I believe UR did end up dying there, but you can see the amount of damage he almost did to YAMAMOTO. And I believe that game ended a bit too quick, that no one really had a chance to use a boost or even debuff. To wrap up our game, we are going up against a max transcendent YAMAMOTO. Their Mania isn't really worked on, so she's not really going to be much of a problem here. But I believe we have activated our boost. Unfortunately, we've now been debuffed, but you know what? We had the boost there for like 2-3 seconds almost. And that right there is enough for us to quickly wipe out their team and turn the game into a 3v1 where we had the natural advantage against Mania. But yeah, with that said, lads, I'm currently ranked number 31 in 30. It's just a team I wanted to showcase today, trying out this team once more, right? It's a team I've already showcased in the past, but now we're doing something a tad bit different. Right now, since I do have a max transcended full defense build Yuha, now with also the lacerate duration, I'm able to put Yuha against YAMAMOTO, and I'm also able to put him against Mania and even Aaroniero, and just a full-on tank, stall time, enough of my other character to come through, and turn any match into a 3v1, 2v1, and even if we are up against a Persistence team, we more often do win. So Yuha is still a great character in Brave Battles, I will be honest. Even though, again, he's already had a hard counter, that being Yama. I mean, if you build Yuha correctly, potentially use this build, you might want to actually do this. I mean, in some games, it can still give you the win, even in cases where Yuha does die. If we actually manage to get the boost off after their debuff, then we still get the stat advantage that helps our other teams. We are currently in a debuff meta right now, where everyone's using Yama, everyone's most importantly using Aaroniero, and of course also Mania's Soul Bomb. So 3 meta characters with debuffs, where, you know, having a team booster is still really good to have, because in some cases, it will win you the match. It might be one of those ones where, like, you don't notice it until like 1 out of 10 games, but that win is a win, and we take those wins. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care, and peace.